easy speakers, and no guess. Sprinting back to Verizon, or last week, because that's what last week was. I was sprinting back to Verizon. Now how this began, like most good stories begin, is the brand new Galaxy S5 smartphone came out, and I said, hey, I've only got a Galaxy S3. I need a new toy. So of course, I had to get a new toy. And when you get the new toy, you have to see, well, what company should I get that new toy with? Should I get with Sprint? Should I get with T-Mobile? Should I get with Verizon? Should I go with AT&T? So about every 2 years, you go through the process of figuring this out. Who should I go with? Who's got the best rates right now? Who gives me what I want? And with 2 growing kids, I found if you want to go to a restaurant, you really need data at a restaurant, because most of them don't have free Wi-Fi, which means you need big data packages, especially if you're streaming movies. One of the movies, I believe, was Rise of the Guardians, which I enjoy. It's a great movie. But it takes 800 megabytes to download the movie and stream it while you're sitting in a restaurant. Well, if your package is only for 3 gigs of data, that's going to run out really, really quick. So, let us motivate. So first, I said, hey, look, here's Sprint. They have unlimited data. It's got to be awesome. We should go with them. And they actually had S5s in stock. That was the first question I asked as I walked through it. Do you actually have them in stock? They're like, yes, we do. In that case, they proceeded to tell us about the family plan. And the family plan is each person you add onto your account lowers everybody's bill by $5. It's like, oh, that sounds amazing. Which it does, if you go with Sprint. And the best part, too, is you could have completely random people, and all they know is the family ID and the last 4 of your phone number. So you could have, like, you could have all of us in a room, and no one would know anything about your billing or anything about your information. But you just lower everybody's bill. So it sounds amazing. So we signed up. We're like, hey, let's sign up. This sounds great. Oh, but wait, there was a thing before that. Because of course, we had to run to Verizon first, because that's who we were with. They're like, hey, well, what are you offering? And we found out that Verizon was offering like 10 gigs of data, where Sprint was unlimited. It's like, oh, of course, like unlimited. So we ran back to Sprint that night, like 15 minutes before they closed. Like, hey, we're gonna get the S5s, we're gonna get your contract, we're gonna sign up, we're gonna do this. So we start the process, which of course is about a half an hour to 45-minute waiting period to finally get your spot in line, to actually finally get to the person to help you. So that's what it's thinking about. So we finally get up there, finally start the process, and computers crash. So we waited for about half an hour as the computers were crashed. About 8:45 at night, kids got home with a babysitter. It's like, okay, we sort of need to get home. And the Sprint guy finally says, yeah, sorry, we're crashed. You're gonna have to come back tomorrow. And it's one of those things where in life, it's like, was that an omen? Should I be aware of something? Like, no, that can't be an omen. It's the only ones that have S5s in stock. There's no other reason that they're the only ones. Well, of course, eventually found out there was. So Heidi went back the next day to actually get the phones. It's like, okay, we're gonna get the phones. I took the kids to baseball, she's getting the phones. So of course, the computers died again, 3 different times while in the process of getting her phones. It's like, oh, is that one normal? Because that's like 4 times it's crashed. It should be normal. But of course it wasn't. So we finally had the phone on Tuesday night. I brought it into work Wednesday morning, all excited. Hey, I have the brand new smartphone. I'm doing great, awesome. Open my Pandora account, my little internet radio, and my songs were crashing 4 to 5 times per song. I was like, oh, this is not okay. What's going on? Oh, I looked down the phone, 3G. I said, oh, that's the biggest problem of them all. I have unlimited data on a 3G network. 3G is about as low as you can possibly get nowadays. You want 4G LTE. So apparently I called Sprint. So what's up with the 3G thing? This is a brand new phone. What do you mean I don't have 4G, some great service? What the hell? And they said, oh yeah, sorry. It's not actually in Rancho Cordova or Carmichael yet. I'm like, what do you mean? 4G's been out for like 5 years. How do you not have 4G everywhere? I'm like, come on, really? So that night, I rushed back to Sprint. It's like, oh no, well I can't have your service because there's no point to go unlimited if it's really, really slow. That doesn't work. So I waited like half an hour in line so I could get up to them and actually have a conversation with them. They said, okay, yeah, that really does suck. You know, we're sorry. But if you can't actually turn in these phones tonight. Like, what do you mean I can't turn in the phones tonight? So, because you want to keep your number, don't you? It's like, yeah, I guess I do. Had the number for 10 years, don't really want to lose the number. It's like, well, now you have to rush back to another carrier, like Verizon, and transport your number back over there. So, of course, it's like 7:45 at night, and I rush over to transfer my number over there. And of course, earlier in the evening, my wife is, all pissed off. She's like, you should have looked at this stuff before you bought these phones. And she said, okay, you take one car, I'll take the other car. When we finally get someone to watch the kids, I'll come over. I'll come join you at Sprint, and we'll get the things taken care of. So of course, a friend had come over and parked right where she usually parks, which is right behind us in the garage. So Heidi, in a not a very good emotional state because she's pissed off at me and pissed off about going back to Sprint, backs right into her car. Because that's what you do when you're not used to someone parking right behind you and just things happen. And then of course, part of this I found out at Sprint, I didn't even need her to cancel the account. So it's like, really? I didn't even need her this whole time? And she's racing. Like, oh, it's terrible. So then I'm at Verizon. And I finally get everything spin back to Verizon. I was going to get everything switched back to Verizon. Verizon's like, oh yeah, by the way, the deal for the Galaxy S5s ended on Easter. You can't actually get that deal anymore. I was like, oh, you people suck. But then I told the lady my story at customer service, and she was very nice. She said, well, I can't give you that deal, but I'll give you $200 credits on your account. I was like, well, that works. That's the $200 I want off the phone anyways. So she gave me that, which was nice. So finally got my old phones back and good. I'd ordered them the new ones. Got them this weekend. So of course, I still had to go back to Sprint and return their phones. So I tried to rush back there. They're like, yeah, we closed like an hour ago. You can't return our phones. So it came to the next night, where I spent another 45 minutes waiting at Sprint, flying on my phone. Yeah, I just want to return the phones. That'd be great. So I finally get to that, and I finally got to return the phones. And this weekend, actually yesterday, I finally got 2 brand new Galaxy S5s on Verizon, which is a good 4G network. So the moral of the story, if there's bad omens, you might want to think about them, give them a little thought, maybe double check what you're doing. And at the moment, unless you want 3G, stay away from Sprint.
Thank you.
Yeah.